Well, thank you guys for joining us today. Today we are going to be going over creating a business plan to generate project income. We are using DB Collaborate as our webinar platform. If you guys haven't done so, please use your audio setup wizard. It'll allow you to adjust your volume and also to set up a microphone if you guys have one for the questions and answers later. We do have the telephone option available. If you're having some difficulty hearing, you could request a telephone number and I will give you a number and a passcode and it'll allow you in. Down at the bottom, it is a chat function similar to Yahoo or MSN or any chat platforms. You just type in what you're wanting, hit return. It also has the little emoticons if you're interested in putting those in. In the middle here is the quick response polling for your hand raising and your yes/no answers. If you're using a microphone and we have a discussion, please click talk before you actually start talking so that we can hear your voice. And at the end of the session, please click file, scroll down to exit to actually exit the session. A little bit about us. Here in Alaska, we have our regional director, Anthony Chioli, who has a vast array of experience in working capital projects on developing and fundraising tribal management capacity building style stuff. He used to be the tribal administrator in the community of Quinnahock, where he pioneered the municipal and tribal merger of Quinnahock, Alaska. Next, we have Angela Kamos, who's our Training and Technology Assistance Manager. Most of you, if you ever contacted our office, have actually gotten to talk to Angela. She comes in with a vast array of experience in dealing with clients in training, grants management, program and project development, process improvements, and she is our business/professional coach. Last, there's myself. I come in with 6 years in project management. I used to be an ANA grants manager several years ago. My background is business development and technology. I like to try to do things that help the smaller communities do things to improve their situations, whether it's technology-based or business-based. We also carry a wide variety of consultants. A lot of our consultants carry expertise in various areas so that we are able to better suit any of the needs of our clients. We also provide free training in the 3 areas that ANA funds. We do project planning and development to help you to understand the process of how to develop your projects. We do pre-application training, which is designed to update you on any of the changes that have been made to ANA funding cycles, the FOAs, and just kind of how to get in and submit your application. And when you are funded, because you guys are all going to write such stellar applications, you guys will be attending a post-award training. All of these are done for free. The only cost that you would have is your cost of travel. Now, if you are a grant recipient or in certain cases you get unfunded, there are some technical assistance that we can offer electronically or via the phone. To see these and any other services that we offer, please visit us at www.anaalaska.org. You could follow us in our Google Plus communities by going g+.2/ANA Alaska. We offer several communities for anybody who's interested in language communities. we offer our language projects. We have a native language community, which is a national community, and it's a place for people to share ideas on how to work their native language projects. Additionally, you can go to the ACF website found here at this link, and they have a lot more variety of tools that are available from the other regions sharing their best practices, and they have it all listed on their website. A little bit about ANA. ANA's vision for Native communities is that Native communities are thriving. And ANA tries to achieve this by promoting the self-sufficiency of Native Americans by providing the discretionary grant funding for community-based projects and training and technical assistance. They do pay us to help you guys. Now, our upcoming webinars that we have, this is a little bit of a unique webinar that we're doing today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it on our originally scheduled date, so we rescheduled this, and this is hopefully the only time we will ever do a webinar on a Tuesday. Our webinars typically occur every Thursday unless it falls on unless that Thursday is a holiday. We try to all the webinars do start at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and we do provide other time zones so that people could try to see what time it is will be in their time zone. Next, in 2 days, we will be having the strategies for sustainability with a focus on native language projects. As well as you can see, each additional week we have other ones. One of the ones that I really want to highlight is the September 11th. Obviously, it's a tragic day for the United States, and we remember New York on this day. But September 10th is the World Suicide Prevention Day. So September 11th, we will be doing the suicide prevention projects. What could actually be funded under the SEDS priority area? For today, we are going to have 3 goals. We're going to have a little bit of an understanding of what is a business plan. We're going to take a look at where can you guys get resources to get assistance in developing your business plan. And last, it's going to be a component, what are the CFRs that actually govern what you could do with your project income once you start making money with your business. So we'll jump right into it. What is a business plan? People have different conceptions of what a business plan is, but when we get down to the bread and butter, a business plan is nothing more than a living document that serves 2 purposes for your business. First, and probably the most important, is a business plan is going to be a roadmap for how to run your business. You're not going to be able to be there 24/7 to run your business, and it helps any kind of employees, whether it be entry-level, management, executives, that help to run your business. It helps to show them the vision that you had for your business. Now, if you're looking to get funding, the second purpose will be, it is a risk assessment that is used by financial institutions to kind of evaluate where your business should be and to provide them some financial information about your market. How well you understand your business and how well you understand your market. Now, down here at the bottom is a newspaper article that goes into a discussion of the free business plan templates. A little disclaimer, there is no universal business plan template. No matter how much business experts want to say this is what you need, every business that is created can have, depending on the industry, different things that it needs to address. So the business plan templates, you're going to find very a wide variety of different things, whether it's free business plan templates in Microsoft Word, to SBA has their business plan template that they want you to follow. All of them are going to have a lot of similarities, and it's those similarities, those core principles of a business plan that we're going to discuss today. So what should be included in your business plan? There's typically 5 sections of a business plan. Now each section is going to be made up of different components, but there's going to be 5 sections. You're going to have your cover sheet. Your cover sheet is going to be a brief and to-the-point explanation. It's going to be putting your business in layman's terms. You have 1 page to tell everything about your business. And the way that I like to teach it is, I call it an elevator pitch. What kind of conversation can you have about your business in the 60 seconds it takes to ride an elevator? Things you're going to cover is, how much money do you need invested into your business? What kind of advantage does your business have over other businesses? What creative ways are you going to go about capturing your part of the pie? It's going to have an executive summary. Since it's a summary, it should be written last, because this is going to tie together everything that's included in your business plan. You're also going to have a table of contents. This is going to be so that when people read your business plan, they're able to quickly find the information that they're going to want to be looking for. Now, if a person is looking at your business plan and they get lost in there, they're going to quickly dismiss your business plan, because they're not going to have the faith in the business that you're trying to promote. The biggest section of your business plan is going to be the body. Now, the body is going to be all of these components. There's a couple more on another slide, but each of these has a description in terms of how you fill it out. Your business description. Are you going to look at becoming a limited liability company, a sole proprietorship, an S Corp, a C Corp? All of those go into the idea of what kind of business you're going to be running, how much liability are you personally going to be carrying as the owner. You write a nice description of what type of business you're going to have. You also got to look at your marketing plan. You have to have a clear understanding of who your market is going to be. Who are you going to be selling your product or your services to? And how are you going to make sure that they know about your business? Are you going to advertise on Facebook? Are you going to take out newspaper ads? A lot of that's going to go into your marketing plan, and one of the general rules that I try to tell people is, if you're planning on spending money in marketing, you spend money in marketing when you're in a downturn. You don't spend money when you have everybody coming to your business. You spend money when you're on a downturn and your sales aren't up, so that if you want to create that traffic back to your business. So know who you're selling to. You have to know who your consumer is going to be. Another big part that people often overlook is, who's your competition? Who does the same thing that you do, and how are you going to be better than them? Now, when you're thinking about your competition, you have to understand how well they do their business, what gives you that competitive advantage. Now, don't go and completely write everything that you need to know about your competitor, but just list out who are your major competitors in the immediate area, what's their marketing plan like, and just kind of have an idea of who your competition is. Operations is going to cover your day-to-day operations or your breakdown of when your business is going to be open, what are going to be your key sales, those types of things. Your personnel or staffing plan, if you're planning on having staff, you're going to want to develop a staffing plan, develop some basic job descriptions, an org chart to show who supervises who, and you're going to want to include that to show that you have a well-rounded idea of what type of staff you're going to need. Do you need staff? Is this stuff that you could do yourself? We're going to take a look at a break-even analysis. This is a form that a lot of institutions require if you're going after funding. A break-even analysis will take a look at how much do you have to do, how many sales do you have to do just to break even. And this is a really cool tool that there's some organizations that I'll talk about a little later. They use this tool, and I like to see the aha moment, or the moment when people get to see that break-even point, and they really have their eyes open to see how much work they're going to have to do to create a business from the ground up. Any loan or capital requirements needs to be included. If you're going to a bank to try to get loan information, you're gonna have to fill out the application, but you're also going to have to provide some very specific things about the financial history of the organization you're creating this business under. Profit loss statements. If this is an existing business that you're just now writing a business plan for and looking to expand your business, a lot of businesses actually come in their second, third year after being in business a while, and they want to go after funding to expand their business. They're going to have a profit loss, and you need to include that. It's going to help to show that you are paying your bills as well as making a profit or breaking even from your business. Now, this is probably the toughest part next, the 3 to 5 year forecast. This is one that is kind of hard to get in, because nobody really knows, without a magic crystal ball that they could look into, what the industry is going to be doing in 5 years. If you take a look at something like an iPhone, how many different versions of the iPhone have consumers been sold in the last 5 years? It's kind of, you know that it's going to change, but how much is it going to change? And these typically have to deal with your sales. So you're going to have to kind of look at, are we going to be trying to grow the business in the next couple of years? What kind of costs is growing going to cost us? And you're going to have to kind of have an understanding of your industry enough to be able to project out what type of sales you'll have. Next is any assumptions. Any and all assumptions go here. I'm going to be producing, I'll give you an example. I was looking at creating a wood business. I was going to sell firewood because I go to Fred Meyer's and I see a little bundle of wood selling for about $6 a pack, and you take maybe about 300 of those little bundles, and that makes a cord of wood. So you're looking at about $1,800 worth of wood, where it cost me about $100 to produce that. So I was looking at a business as to how I could get into that. An assumption would be that I'm going to be able to sell this to a wholesaler. And so any assumptions include backup for that. because you want the person that you're submitting your business plan to have as much information about your business as possible. Now, there is an optional thing. I still recommend that you include it, but you're going to want to include your tax returns, the copies of key contracts. If you have any business existing or you're creating a business that will be given a contract to do something, include a copy of that contract so that when you go to present, they'll see that you already have a guarantee of income. Any copies of legal documents. If you're going to go a limited liability company or any type of the corporations, you need to have your articles of incorporation so that all your paperwork is together. If you're entered into a partnership, you need to have the partnership agreement there. And if you have anybody who's specifically going to be just hired right off the bat, they're already there, they've helped you to create this business, you're going to need to have the resumes for your key staff, the people who are vital to the existence of your business. Include their resumes as documentation. Now, the part that nobody likes to include because they don't want to think that their business will ever fail is the exit strategy. If the event occurs that your business cannot keep its doors open, what are you going to do? There's many different things you could do. You could liquidate your assets and sell off any of your merchandise, any of your equipment to cover out the remaining costs of your liability. You could sell the company. You could scale back. An exit strategy is very key because it shows that you've thought through all of the contingencies of what could happen with your business. Now, it's a just-in-case plan. We're not saying that you need to plan to have a business that is not viable. It's just we want you to be prepared for everything that can happen. Some of the things that we talked a little bit about earlier is staffing plans. Well, you have to know your own limits. One of the things that entrepreneurs typically do is they like to take on everything themselves. Now, I know that my background is technology and business startup, but I might not be as great in finance or budgeting. So I'm definitely going to need to find somebody who can help me with that. I have to know my strengths and my weaknesses and find somebody to complement my weaknesses. Can we do everything? No. There's different things, different tests that we could do that can help us to find out what our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are. A SWOT test is very standard. You could find, if you Google SWOT test, you'll find simple forms that you could fill out. There are charts that you could fill out that will help you to determine this. But also look at, I'm assuming that everybody today is doing this on behalf of an organization who's looking to create a business for employment opportunities in their community. Look within your own organization. Look at your organization as a whole. You might not personally have the things needed to do the budgeting or the writing, but there might be somebody within your organization who can. And those people need to be brought into this project to help you to design this. If we think we could do everything alone, come work for me, I'll pay you a nice salary. But we need to be realistic in the things that we can and cannot do. Find those people who are going to help you to fill those weaknesses. Find somebody who's going to help you to identify those opportunities, and somebody who's going to help you reduce those threats. One of the things that you really need to think about as you go into this is, what is your idea of success? How do you measure success? Is success going to be that once your business is created, that you guys are maintaining staying in the black kind of thing, where you're not losing any money and you're employing as many people as you can to help your tribal members? Is it going to be fewer jobs but higher capital gains? You're going to have a higher earnings that you're able to do more things with for your community? What is it? What drives the idea of your business? What is the underlying factors of why you want to create your business? Now, that's a trade-off as well, because if you create a business that's so successful and you don't have the people to bring on to help you, how is that going to affect your family life? I used to run a consulting business, and I ran it, and I had it for about 3 years. And I was working every opportunity I had, but when I finished, when I got rid of my company, I looked back and I realized I had sacrificed a lot of time with my family. And I decided that any business venture that I get into in the future, family has to be one of the most underlying principles for my businesses. The business will be a family-friendly business, but that's a major motivator for me. That's going to measure how successful I am, is how much time does it allow me to spend with my family. So you got to look at these different things. What are your motivators, and how is that going to determine how you view success? Now, nobody is going to jump right into a business and completely know everything. So we kind of found this mastery chart here. In the beginning, you're getting started. There's no company, but as you get going, you're going to get familiar. You're going to start to create more business. You start to get more work. Now you're getting into the experience section, and over time and over the, as you spend more time in the business and as you do more projects, you're going to achieve mastery. Achieving mastery is ideally where we all want to be with our business. You know the industry, and you have enough work that's gone on behind you that shows that you're an expert. And SBA uses something similar to this, where if you're looking at getting into 8A, you could actually find a mentor of somebody that's similar, a similar business type, and they will actually help mentor you through the process, because SBA is vested in the 8A businesses being successful. So they provide a lot of tools. So knowing where you do your best work. Is this going to be a business where people are going to work from home? Are they going to work off-site? Are they going to be, is there going to be technology requirements? Are they going to have to have the latest and greatest, the newest phones? Are they going to have to, are they going to be one of those businesses that are on the cutting edge in creating smartphone applications? What types of business are you going to be getting into? Is that the work that you want to do? Knowing how to do and where you do your best work is also going to be influential in your type of business. Now, by a raise of hands using the raise your hand function, how many people recognize this man? Okay, we have one. This is Mark Cuban, and Mark Cuban, to me, is one of the best examples of a rags to riches kind of guy. Mark Cuban started a business. He talks about it, about how he started by, he bought a stamp, and it turned out that that stamp was actually worth a little bit of money. So Mark Cuban started very young and worked his way up. And Mark Cuban is very successful now. And Mark Cuban also, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, one of the main characters on Shark Tank on the TV. And you always hear the sharks on the TV show talking about nobody should know your business better than you. Portray that. Make sure that nobody knows your business better than you. And it's not to say nobody's going to know a restaurant better than you, but nobody's going to know a restaurant located in Fairbanks, Alaska better than somebody living in Fairbanks, Alaska. They're going to know where to get the best produce. They're going to know their customers better than just about anybody. So make sure that nobody knows it better than you. Now, one of the other things that I like about Mark Cuban is Mark Cuban truly believes that there's no such thing as bad publicity. When Mark Cuban took over the Mavericks, he was fined for his for an outburst by the NBA. And he walked in and he presented the NBA commissioner a check, and he turned around and he made a donation to a charity for the exact same amount that he got fined. Now, to this day, there's very few people who remember what Mark Cuban got fined for. But everybody remembers that he makes the donations to the charities. And every time you go to search Mark Cuban for that charity, Mark Cuban gets hits. Mark Cuban, being the guy that he is, actually makes money from that. So the more money he paid out to the NBA for his fines, Mark Cuban was getting publicity because he was donating to those charities, and in turn, his businesses made more money. Very creative way of making money, but it's just something to remember. Everything that you do, you are the face of your business. So as you go forward, remember that. Remember that everything that you do, people are going to look at your business using your face. So let's take the summary. You're going to need to know how to define your challenges. The technological challenges in terms of what types of equipment do you need to do your business, as well as the personal challenges. What types of staff do you need to have in place in order to operate your business? Be realistic with your expectations. Mastery is not something that is achieved overnight. I really hate to say it, but it's an estimated 70% of businesses fail within the first 3 years. If you could make it past those first 3 years, chances are that you're going to have a successful business. Starting a business, you're not going to know everything about that industry overnight. We'd like to think that we do, but know that as the longer you're in business and the more work that you do in that industry, the better your mastery is going to be. Always keep an eye on the goal. Always look for mentorship programs. Businesses want to help other businesses. Find a business expert. And by that I mean somebody who's owned a business that has been in business for a while and ask them if they could help you. Show them your business plan, see what they think. They're going to point out some things. They might help you to fix some of your assumptions because they want to see a healthy economy supports each other. A restaurant who uses a farmer's market for its produce is going to want to make sure that that farmer's market stays in business. We have a lot of resource links for you. Some of them I'm going to pay a little more attention to as we go through them. There's obviously 3-Star, which is the company that I work for. The Administration for Native Americans also provides a lot of information on the funding. If you're looking at doing a business, I would really recommend you go to this website and look at their seeds application. ONABIN is actually a nonprofit that was created to increase the number of Native businesses. They do some training. It does come at a cost, but they have taken a very unique approach to writing business plans. I've worked with ONABIN before. I've done their train the trainer training, and I would really recommend people look at their website. They sell a guidebook for I believe it's around $68 with shipping. It's an amazing book for doing small business startups in Native communities. Now, here in Alaska, we have the Alaska Small Business Development Center. In other states, I know that they have similar programs, but that goes through I believe the SBA. And this site can be used from anywhere, but it does provide very industry-specific data for starting businesses in Alaska. One of the popular things here in Alaska is a bed and breakfast, and I do know that they have like a guide on how to start a bed and breakfast here in Alaska. The Small Business Administration, you go to their SBA.gov, and you can actually click on a map and it'll walk you through how to get the local assistance for your area. But they have some great free help. You can get free templates on how to fill out business plans. They also come with a guide on how to fill out that specific one. But all of these are sites that you could visit that will get you some help on small business templates. Now, as we transition in to the program income aspect of this, we need to remember that this is going to be grant funded, so you are going to have to maintain or adhere to the grant rules. Now, what governs your grant is going to be the Office of Grants Management. They are responsible for awarding the grants and monitoring the fiscal aspects of those grants. So ANA will, once you're awarded, you'll be awarded a grant specialist who works with you to make sure you receive your federal funds, maintains your official grant files with original copies of the application, your reports, and your closeouts. Now, grants management specialist, and sometimes in the event that you guys would like to work with the regional TTA centers, sometimes we can help with this. They're there to help review your financial reports and work with the ANA program specialists on monitoring the ANA grant. So they're going to be working to make sure that you guys are staying on top of your grants and making sure that all your financials are up to date. They'll be able to discuss making budget modifications or revisions to your grant. Because of what we're talking about today, they're able to answer any questions regarding program income. It does have to be tracked separately, as you'll see in a second. And they'll be able to help you with your quarterly reports, your SF 425s, etc. Now, I highlighted these in red because as you're going through and you're doing your reports, you're going to be putting in your actual spend down of your money. They have the, as you're going through, you're filling out your forecasted amounts. But when you actually get into doing the quarterlies, you're going to fill out your federal and non-federal share of what you've actually spent out. But as you're going through that, we get down to question number 18, and question number 18 is going to be a checkbox answer, and if you check yes, you will be given a short answer to fill out after. But it specifically asks you in your OPR, did your project generate any program income? And you defined by project activities is going to be what you wrote in your grant application. So if you're doing this and you receive funding to do a project that does generate project income, please remember that you do have to check this off, and you do it when you generate the income. Now, program income is governed by these two CFRs. They're different for tribal governments and nonprofits. They have to adhere to different things. Now, program income is the gross income that's generated by a grant in the supported activities, or is earned only as a result of the grant. So if you make any money because you have received this award, you need to count it as program income. ANA utilizes the additive alternative for the treatment of program income. Now what that means, we take a look at the chart, is that it is added to the funds committed to the project or program and is used to further eligible project or program objectives. So as you're generating project income, you need to add that amount to your overall budget for your objectives. Now they do have this, unless authorized by the federal regulations or grant agreement, the program income will be treated as gross program income in the event that HHS awarding agency does not specify in terms of conditions of the award how the program income is to be used. The deductive alternative shall apply automatically to all projects or programs except research. This is taken directly from the post-award manual. Now, they also have another summary of accountability requirements for program income. Now, this table breaks down when is the program income earned, what is, and that the income is. So let's take a look at the first line. If the program income is earned during the project period and that income is received and expended during the project period, then the recipient is required to use program income as provided in the notice of award. So you just continue to go through the table, and we'll take a look at the last one. If the program income is earned after the project period, and that income is received and expended after the project period, then the recipient is not accountable for that program income unless specifically provided in the notice of award. So we provide a pretty extensive chart on how to go through this. The majority of it is going to be looking at if your project income is earned during the project, but just go through the chart and familiarize yourself with it as you go to prepare your project. So in conclusion, there was 3 goals for today's webinar. Understanding what are the parts of a business plan, knowledge of where to get the resources. I provided you the various sites that offer the free and paid services for business plan templates, and provide an introduction to CFRs that govern the project income. So we will now go to the question and answers section, where I will provide hopefully the answers that you guys have. I'm going to bring you guys to this website so that you guys could actually fill out our evaluation. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat box. You could fill out the one on the screen or click on the link that I provided in the chat box, and we'll give it a couple more minutes on questions. Looks like we have one being typed. So the question is, where could I find a good example of how to do a break-even analysis? There's going to be several different places you can go. I'm actually trying to pull up the link. So the SBA, because it's a government, provides a great deal of free tools. That link actually is for the SBA.gov estimating startup costs, and what they do is they do a breakdown between your fixed costs and your variable costs, and that will actually walk you through how to do your break-even analysis. I do know that the ONABIN actually has a training on it as a component of their what's called Indianpreneurship. But if you go to SBA, they have a pretty good breakdown of that. Is there any other questions? Okay, I don't see any other typing going on in the chat room, so I would like to thank you all, and this will be the last time that we do use the Blackboard as a webinar thing, as a webinar platform. In the future, we will be switching over to Adobe Connect, so hopefully we will be walking you guys through how to use our Adobe Connect platform for our future stuff soon. Thank you again for joining us, and I hope you guys have a great day.